Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the next episode. Today is Tuesday, February 21st. This is month 8, day number 17, I do believe, or something like that. It was a long 8-hour day today. I had a PAE lecture at 1:15, and then come 5 o'clock I had an audiotronics lab. Overall, today wasn't bad. I paid attention pretty good in class today. I was on the ball. I woke up and made it over there pretty good. Wasn't worried or pressed on time or anything. I actually, when I woke up, I went ahead and I've got this water bottle. I don't know if I've shown it before. Yeah, here it is. Got this awesome water bottle, and it's like a thermos or something. And so I put some grapes in it, and the grapes stayed cold all the way until I had them for, I guess, lunch or whatever. Which that was nice to have in the middle of the day, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about the lecture today. So this was the last, for really real lecture of principles and applications of electricity. And it was, well, there weren't that many notes to fill in. I took lots of notes, actually, on the computer today. And I'll kind of get into that here in a second, but yeah, as far as the actual, fill in the blank notes that we had, it was only this first page here, and then half of the next page. So yeah, it really wasn't that much. I don't know how, but my instructor, he's good at dragging things out for really long. And while it might seem annoying, some days it is, I'm not gonna lie, because some days, like last week, I just did not even want to be in there. I was bored, it was just over my head, etc. But days like today, I wasn't as bothered by the thoroughness, because he introduces the topic, explains the topic, and then gives plenty of examples, which is like a really scientific process, and I kind of enjoy that, actually. It's really nice and refreshing to really get, well, here's an example of what this would be, or what this would look like, or where you would see this. So that's pretty cool. I do appreciate that. He's a really thorough instructor. Anyway, so in the notes, we'll kind of read through them. The topic for today was power integrity. And so poor power quality may cause a loss of productivity in your studio area, or wherever you're working, really. And power quality is mainly a measure of voltage quality and its status relative to power standards. Power quality may be characterized by the compatibility between the source and the load. Motor and dimmer loads are possible sources of power line noise. It goes on with all this stuff. Isolation transformers are separately derived systems requiring a neutral ground bond on the load side. What else we got? Let's see. Typically used as test equipment, variable transformers. Yes, there are variable transformers, and they're also known as variacs. They have been used abroad to correct small source voltage differences for sensitive audio equipment. And there's just all this different kind of gear. We really looked and went kind of heavy on the gear side today. So we looked at a lot of gear. And what I did was I opened up, usually what I'll do when I'm bored in class is I'll open up a new Pages page, I guess. The application on the Mac is called Pages. And it's kind of like the Mac's version of Microsoft Word, and personally, I like it a lot better. It's a lot easier to use than Word, I think. And the main reason being, you can drag and drop pictures. So if you have your Finder window open, you can just click on a picture file and then drag and drop it over into your text file, and it shows up. It's pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, so I'll usually open up a new Pages document, and then I'll just copy and paste the vocabulary words for that chapter or that lesson. That way I'm not slacking off. I'm slacking off, but in a kind of productive way. You know what I mean? That way, at least I'm thinking about what we're talking about, but I'm curing myself of the boredom of focusing in on just words coming at me. You know, so I think that's a really good method for being bored and whatnot in class. What I did today was I actually took notes because my instructor, like I said, he's really thorough, and usually there's a good amount of words and things to write down on the PowerPoint slide, but he takes so long to go through and explain it all that I was like, well, I could type that stuff in the amount of time it takes. So I started typing up the notes, and we started looking at the gear, and so you know, he would take so long on each slide for each piece of gear that I was able to go and Google the piece of gear and find the exact same picture, or at least one similar to what he had on the PowerPoint slide. So, like all the gear that we talked about, I have pictures of and notes on um, from today's lecture. So that was pretty baller, if you do, or if I do say so myself. I was on top of it today, on point, you know. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. Um, and we went for the whole 4 hours basically, yeah, from 1:15 to about 4:45ish. So I guess it was more like 3.5 hours, but still a pretty long time to talk about electricity stuff for sure. Um, and then lab today was pretty cool. I had an audiotronics lab, and it was the last one before the lab practical. And, you know, it was basically the first thing we had to do was, of course, take the XLR apart again and put it back together again, um, which at this point is nothing compared to what it was like when we first did it. It seemed like a pain in the butt the first time, but compared to the stuff like the advanced soldering stuff, it's so easy. Like, it's a joke, you know. So we redid the XLR cable, and basically we had a lab packet. So I don't know where I put it. It's somewhere. But it was a lab packet full of stuff that we could go over. Basically, it was an open lab where we were allowed to just work on whatever we needed to work on. And I went through and I worked through most of the packet, and it had to do with, like, you know, identifying different components and what the schematic symbol was and what they're used for. And then there was some, like, cross-patching troubleshooting method and stuff. And I think I have it in this is it in this? No, it's not in this stack of paper. The thing about this month is that they gave a lot of paper handouts. It's the one. And so I don't have a folder, so I'm kind of a little unorganized with it. But I kept all the papers together all the time, so they weren't scattered about the house or whatever. But, anyway, yeah, this is the packet that we got here today for lab. And again, it was just an open lab where we could go and work through. I didn't get through all of it, and the XLR was first, but I did do the cross-patching troubleshooting method, because they have different rack mount gears in the back to work on that stuff. Which it explains here how to do it and everything. And did the XLR, as you can see there. And then there was one side where I had a couple frayed wires, so I didn't score the maximum amount of points, but it was still pretty darn good, actually. I could show you, but I think my cable is way over there somewhere. Actually, you know what? Why don't I show you? This is one of the last videos for the month. Why not? So, again, you've seen this before, but I don't think I've shown you the inside of this little thing here. So, in an XLR, you can unscrew the female end, and this cap part comes off. And then you can scoot this back. Then you have a clamp right here. And this comes back. It's kind of tough. I don't know if you can see that. Well, no, you can't see it. But basically, this protective cap here grips it so hard that it left little notches in the rubber part on the outside. But yeah, look at those beautiful solder points. Come on, camera, let's focus. Focus, camera. Anyway, no excessive solder. There's just enough. There's not too little or too much. There's no cold solder joints. It's holding pretty well. and yeah, I mean, so that side is good, and this side back here is just as good. Actually, it was better because this was the side that I had a couple frayed wires on, and I fixed it after the fact, but you know, it was still there to begin with. And this side was the perfect side that was just fine, but I don't have a screwdriver to undo it. Um, Actually, yeah, I do. Um, Come on. There we go. Yeah, this little plastic thing is a pain in the butt. So honestly, the putting the caps and stuff together is more of a pain than actually soldering the stuff on. And then all you have to do is there's a notch on top and then a notch there, and you just line them up and put it on in there, and then you just screw that part on just like that. And it's tough sometimes if you don't line it up right. Come on. There we go. That's it. And so I've got this. My parents hooked me up with a total just baller like set of. Well, this isn't the screwdriver set. Where's my screwdriver set? Oh, it's way over there, isn't it? All right. Well, never mind. I'm not gonna take this side apart. But basically, what you do is there's these screws here. There's one there, and then there's one on the other side. And those are your strain relief screws. And you unscrew them, and then you can push this back, and then the inside will pop out, obviously, and it just has the solder connection. Same as this side, so it's all good. But that's what an XLR cable is made out of. You have your 3 pins. Pin 2 is the high, pin 3 is the low, and then, of course, pin 1 is the ground or shield. So we're rocking XLR cables for the win. And then you can just, like, and at first it seems like they're so fragile and everything, you don't want to break them, but then, like, you start to really get used to soldering and how tough the solder actually is. Put it together and just toss it around, you know. I mean, I don't really recommend that or condone it, but I'm just saying XLR cables are tough, you know, because you end up putting a lot of solder in there. So yeah, the XLR thing is good to go. That's actually part of the lab practical, is to desolder and rebuild an XLR within like 20 minutes or something like that. I'm actually not sure if it's timed or not, but I heard it was going to be a timed thing, so I'm not sure. We also had to review the DMM settings, the digital multimeters, and like, so for example, it says like what DMM settings measure a 9-volt battery, LED, capacitor, etc. So a bunch of different components. And then we just had to write like what setting it'd be and all that. So like for a diode, you would just set it to the diode setting, you know. So it measures it in the with the diodes and whatnot. Like the capacitor, it'd measure it in farads and all that. So and then there was also an O-scope little exercise to do, where they gave us a certain frequency and then like what the volts peak to peak would be. And we had to figure out what the volts division knob should be set to, and then how many boxes should be shown or filled in. So that's kind of, so that was there. I can't really see if it's on camera, but yeah, so it was pretty cool. Definitely feel free to pause the video whenever I hold up the paper so you can read it and check it out. I hope it comes out clear. If it's blurry, I don't know how to fix that. I don't think I'm allowed to like scan in an image or whatever. Plus, that'd just take a long time. And then I guess one of the last parts. Well, yeah, one of the last parts was like I said, identifying all the different components and what they are on the schematic symbol. And there's a couple more here. And then the last part was checking out and testing the headphone amp and the crossover. But that's easy. I know how to do that, so I'm not worried about it. And then finally there was the testing a cable thing, which again, I know how to do that. I'm pretty confident with it. But it's just you have to fill out these charts. So it was pretty cool. It was a cool day, I will admit. I had a lot of fun. I love the soldering stuff because you're actually doing something, you're making something, and it's pretty cool. I don't know. So yeah, the Lab 7 for Audiotronics was pretty baller today, no doubt. Right now, I've been studying. I tried to work out earlier, but I just wasn't into it. I guess I'm a little stressed about the test, and I'm worried about Mina and everything. She's got her stuff going on in Iowa, and I'm just wanting to make sure she's okay. Otherwise, yeah, I've just been studying for Audiotronics. I have the final exam tomorrow. It should be pretty good. I've been doing pretty good in this class so far. But, you know, still with every test, there's that stress of, oh, God, you know, I got to study and whatnot. And then after my exam tomorrow, I get to finally do laundry. I haven't gotten around to it yet because I've been busy with this final exam stuff. But while I'm doing clothes, I'm going to study for PAE and review for the audiotronics lab final. Well, no, that's not until Friday. I'm going to review. Actually, Thursday is going to be rough because not only do I have the PAE final, but I've got the PAE lab practical as well. So that's just like double mind-blowing, you know, mind freak and stuff. Chris Angel, you know. But it should be good. I've got my book. I've been doing the extra questions for PAE. Like, I've got, you know, doing the questions and whatnot. And I finished my, actually, believe it or not, where'd I put it? Yeah, so as far as the audiotronics project went, did the stereo ear kit. I went ahead, I finished writing out the parts list. I finished drawing the schematic drawing. And I got my essay done last night, a whole page, handwritten, top to bottom. And this is college ruled paper too. This ain't no wide ruled crap. Forget that. Nah, this is college ruled. And like it's got extra small margin too, so I had to write even more. But the topic was, what can audiotronics do for my career? Kind of a lame topic if you ask me, but it's the assignment, so what can you do? Anyway, guys, I've been talking for, gosh, almost 17 minutes now. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a wrap. Thanks for tuning in. You know, I don't know. It's been a pretty good week. Looking forward to digital consoles and then English comp. It should be a breeze. Excited to get my hands back on some real faders and whatnot. So, yeah, I'm just ready to kick ass on these tests. I don't know. It's been pretty good this month, I will say. I've been trying to stay on top of the videos, so I hope you've been digging them. I enjoy making them, and I really like meeting people who watch the videos and check them out and stuff, and so that's always a pleasure. But anyway, until tomorrow, take it easy. I'll let you know how the final exam goes, and we'll have a little study session together or something. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm tired. It's been a long day. Long 8-hour day. I think I might grab up some more snacks. But until tomorrow, I am signing out.